Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. A lot of you have been asking for me to do a post about my personal life and the things that have happened to me since I started this research. I've touched on it briefly in prior posts. In this post, I'm ready to come forth with this information. The reason I am putting this video out here is for the sake of other truth speakers and other people who are dedicated to this research. Currently, I have inspired some people to start their own blogs and their own video channels, and I want them to know that this work can be truly dangerous to your life. And I don't say that to discourage anyone. I say that because it is real, and I don't want people to suffer through the same things I have suffered through in the last year. So I started my written blog in October of 2013. And I didn't start this video channel till August of 2014. And in the first video I ever made, I explained that I was doing this video to get the knowledge out on a greater level in case anything crazy happened in the world and in case anything crazy happened to me. Let me tell you what happened in March of 2014, not long after starting my written blog. In my physical mailbox for my house, I received 3 letters on the same day. 3 letters on the same day, all addressed to Joshua Hubbard. On my written blog, in one post, I had explained that throughout my life, people have mistakenly called me Joshua. So I knew whoever wrote me these letters was reading my blog and paying very careful attention to detail. The 3 letters were very creepy. One letter was just a picture of road signs like you see on the side of the freeway, city names with mile locations. And I noticed that the numbers in the mileage signs were the same numbers I was talking about and writing about on my blog, 33, 47, 74, etc. The second letter of the 3, it was like something you've seen in a murder mystery movie. It was carefully crafted sentences made out of newspaper and magazine clippings. And to me, the sentences were nonsensical. I wish I still had those letters. I would love to decode them with my gematria skills now. But I do not have those letters. They disappeared when my house was robbed, which I'll be getting to. The third letter was the worst, Truth Seeker. It said, "Happy 33rd birthday, your last." And I was 30 years old at the time. What I didn't realize then that I realize now is the numerology of the day I turned 33 on. I'll turn 33 July 21st, 2016. 7 plus 21 plus 16 is 44. Not the friendliest number, as we have discussed many times on this video channel. So, quite threatening. But I did not let that discourage me. Like I said, I'm determined to do this work. I'm determined to get the truth out. I don't want to be intimidated. If people really intend to kill me, my message to them is bring it on. I'm ready to fight for it. Anyhow, after receiving those letters, not long after, I had 2 missionaries appear at my door, and they were like no other missionaries I had met before. They were older men, they had Scottish accents, and they weren't Jehovah's Witness or Mormon. I've only had Jehovah's Witness or Mormon come to my door. These men said they were Baptists. And the other thing that stood out about them to me is they didn't seem too interested in promoting their spirituality or their church. They seemed more interested in getting questions answered about me. I also noticed that after these men left my house, they walked straight off the block and didn't go to anybody else's house. So my flag was up. I was wondering in my mind if they were connected to the letters I received, since it happened in close proximity. Not long after that, maybe a couple months later, I had another really bizarre occurrence happen. I had a Freemason pull up behind me at a gas station in a massive white truck with Freemason plates and approach me and try to recruit me into joining his lodge. And I was polite to him. I listened to him. I accepted his pledge form. I wasn't disrespectful. What creeped me out is I noticed in the time he was at the gas station, he wasn't putting any gas in his vehicle. And I noticed that when I left, after I filled up, he left right behind me without ever getting any gas. And then making matters even creepier, on the way home, I was pulled over by a police officer, and I was pulled over for a phantom reason. The police officer said he pulled me over because I was on my cell phone, which was not true. I was not on my cell phone. And also, truth seeker, what you should know is I hadn't been pulled over in 15 years about. I hadn't been pulled over since I was 16 years old. I was nearly 31 at the time I was pulled over. It was just short of my 31st birthday in July. So, not long after that, I had another bizarre occurrence. I was at the grocery store getting my groceries, and I noticed while I was in the store, it seemed that there was a man who wasn't shopping, but instead was just following me around in the store. And when I left the store, my flag was up. From there, I had to go run a second errand. I had to go to a U-Haul station to get propane, fill up a propane tank. While I was at the U-Haul, this same man in the store who seemed to be following me was now standing in the U-Haul parking lot just staring at me. And when I saw this, I said to him, I said, "Excuse me." When I said that, he turned around and walked away. And I followed him for a brief while trying to get his attention. He never turned around, he just continued to walk away. So I thought, wow, that is really suspicious. All these weird things happening. I felt like there were most definitely some eyes on me. It wasn't long after that, Truth Seeker, that I decided to start the video channel. I thought, man, if something bad happens to me, I want to get this information out on a bigger level than it's out now, because at the time I had a blog that was getting maybe 500 readers a day, not very much. Once I got on YouTube, I saw that there was a much bigger audience. I had 500 views within hours, when before it had taken me months to earn that type of viewership on my written blog. So, not long after starting the video channel, what happened is there was a school shooting in Marysville, Washington, which is very close to where I lived by. And I did a video about it. I talked about what a weird coincidence that was. It happened on the 1-year anniversary of my written blog, that shooting, to the day. And here's, lo and behold, is this school shooting right in my backyard. So after it happened, I attempted to do greater research than I had. I had reached out and called the school trying to contact the principal. I tried to drive up there. Anyway, I didn't get very far, but I might have flagged myself for more attention. What happened not long after that, it was a Saturday, it was November 8th. I was driving to a friend's house at night. I was going to drop something off. On the way over there, driving to this friend's house on a city street, about a 30-mile-per-hour street, an SUV, a black SUV, completely tinted windows. It had local Washington plates, though. It passed me on the left side real fast, drove ahead into my lane, and then slammed on its brakes. It just stood there in the middle of the road, parked in the lane I was driving in, so I was stopped behind it waiting for it to move. It didn't move for a good 20 seconds, so I decided I would drive around it on the left side. It's a 1 lane each way. When I tried to pass it on the left, what it did is it drove up maybe 100 yards, 200 yards, and then slammed on the brakes again. So I thought, what in the world? Are these some teenagers messing with me? What's going on here? So anyway, I waited again to see if it would move. It just stayed parked there. I decided I would try to drive past it again on the left side. When I did that, it started to drive forward, and it drove ahead, and lo and behold, it drove to the house I was going to, where it parked in front of the house, and then just left its engine on, idling in front of the house. When this happened, I called my friend, and I said, "Hey man, something really weird just happened." I explained to him what had just happened, and I said, "Now this vehicle somehow knew how to get to your house, and it's just sitting here in front of your house." I said, do you want me to come inside or should I just go home? I'm not trying to bring anything bad your way. He goes, well, how about I come out there? I said, no, 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 don't come out here, man. I don't know what these people are about. I don't want to get you in any trouble. He said, well, just come in. We'll see what happens. So I got out of my vehicle. I walked inside. That vehicle that had just cut me off and now driven to his house just sat there idling. I went inside. I talked to him. I dropped off what I was dropping off. He asked me if he wanted me to come outside with him. I said, no, man, just stay inside. If anything happens outside, don't come outside. Just call the police. So I went back outside, walked to my vehicle. When I stepped into my vehicle, the SUV just accelerated off, took off into the night. Well, when I drove back home, something creepy had happened. My gate was wide open. My gate for my backyard was wide open. It's a gate that's latched. I've never seen it wide open before. It seemed that somebody had purposefully opened it all the way. So I was creeped out. I got on the friend. I called my other buddy who lives close to my house. And I said, hey, man, something weird just happened to me on the road. Now I'm home and something creepy's going on. Just stay on the phone with me while I check out my house and make sure everything's safe. Being the good friend that he was, he wanted to come over. But I said, nah, man, just stay on the phone. I don't want anything bad happening to anybody besides myself if anything is planned here. So I went around the house. Everything seemed to be cool. I didn't see anything misplaced. It didn't seem like anybody had broken in. I was able to go to sleep that night. Life seemed okay. The date of that was November 8th, True Seeker. At the time, I didn't know the Jewish gematria of 118. The word death happens to equal 118 in Jewish gematria. This was November 8th, 2014, also a date with 33 numerology.